Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Duke of Technology, and today we're going to be talking about identity and access management in AWS. So, identity and access management in AWS is actually how we create accounts, give permissions, and control the activities going on in our environment in AWS. So the first thing I want you to understand with IAM service is that IAM service is actually a global service. So once we say something is actually a global service in AWS, it means that it's automatically available in all availability zones and regions. So IAM service, when we create anything in IAM service like users or groups, it automatically available everywhere on the AWS landscape. So when we look up here, we can see that it's actually global. So it means that it's a global service. Number two, when we created our AWS account, we created what is called a root account. So the root account is actually the top level management account, and this account is in charge of every other account that is going to be created. So it has the maximum privilege in your AWS environment. You get, so from this account, this is where other accounts are going to be subsidiaries too. So today we're going to look at how we are going to create users and groups. All right, so let's get down to creating users. All right, let's create a user. So my first user has a name of the user I'm going to give. Okay, so I'm going to give granted management console access. So it's asking me what kind of user I'm creating, user type. I'm going to say I am user. Okay, so it's asking for if they want to create a password for me automatically, or I want to make my own custom password. So I need my custom password. So I'm going to create my own password, my first user at. Mhm. Okay, so I have a password. So I don't want to create a new password when I sign in. So I'm just going to untick this. Okay. All right, so here we create a group. So why we create groups in AWS? So it's basically for tidy work, neat work. So we have different teams coming into the company that we're going to be working on. So each person comes in with their own skill set. So it's always best for each person to be grouped into a specific uh, environment so that it will be very easy for us to keep track of the activities, keep track of the permissions, and every other thing that is being done. So it's going to make our work very easy. So because when we have everything tidy, we can carefully audit our environment properly, right? Okay, so this is why we create groups. So let me just create a group here. All right, so let me give it a name. Okay, so let me just give it a permission. So in the videos coming up, we're going to look in depth into permissions and policies. Okay, so my group is being created. Okay, so I have my group here. So let me just add my user to the group. All right. So let me review what I've created so far. So I've created a username, I have a password, I have a group with permissions, and now tags. So tags in AWS is just for metadata, so it gives it more information. So you can actually write an information to better identify or describe a particular resource or user that you've created. So anything you create in AWS, you can use tag to just elaborate on what it's for. So this is why its tags are available. So it's actually optional. So it depends on you if you want to use it or not. All right, so we can create our user now. All right, so I've basically created my user. So I have my sign in URL, I have my username, and I have my password, right? I have my password. So it's always best for downloading this CSV file, because when you download the CSV file, you can always have the details of this particular user you've created in a safe area. So you can always reference it, because if I leave this page, I'm not going to have access to this particular password anymore. So it's always best for this CSV file to be saved somewhere so you can always reference it. Let me get back to the dashboard. Okay, so I have my user here and I have a group as well. So the group is here. So I've created my user and I've created my group. So let's see how we're going to sign into this user account. All right. Okay. Okay. So this account, so we said that it belongs to the root user. It's a subsidiary of the root user, right? So we can actually see this is my root account, and we can see that, okay, there's an account ID here. So this account ID is actually what we use to reference when we are trying to sign into our IAM user account we just created. So because the account ID is not really something we can actually remember easily, we can always create an alias. So the alias helps us to remember, to reference our root account when we are signing into our IAM user account. So I can actually, I've actually created an alias before, but we can actually edit it, or I can delete it completely and create a new one. So this sign-in URL is actually where how I'm going to use to sign into my IAM user account. You can see that the alias name is already referenced here. We can actually delete this reference of the alias name and use the account ID, and it will still be perfect, right? But but I just want to make use of this for now. So let me copy this, and then I'm going to open a Cognito tab, because I'll need this account to continue running, and I have to sign into the user account. So if I do not use a Cognito tab, I'm not going to be able to be online on both accounts simultaneously. So this is why I'm going to open a Cognito tab. So it depends on your browser. Most browsers have Cognito features, so it's not going to be a problem. Okay, so all right, so all right, we can see that our alias name is already referenced here. So I'm just going to use the put the username of our IAM user first. User. All right. So there's other one. Okay. Password. My first user. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think this is the password is correct. Okay, so let's sign in now. Okay, so we can see that we have our user created, IAM user created, and we can actually go back here and see that this is our root account. So this is it. We have actually successfully created our new user account and created a group. So in the next videos, we're going to look at policies and permissions and the structure of the policies and permissions, how they are being like created. And so thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next video.